So the other day I asked you guys a poll, and in this poll I asked if you guys were willing to trade Maurice Harkless, Myers Leonard, and a first-round pick for Otto Porter Jr. Here are the results of that poll question. 59% of you said you would at least do that trade, with 10% of those people saying they'd even add another first-round pick or a prospect like Simons. A total of 85% of people said they'd do this trade if they took out the first-round pick, and 15% of people said they wouldn't do this trade at all and that they don't want Otto Porter Jr. Here's some of the comments that you guys gave me. I'd only do this trade if we took out the pick because Otto's contract is atrocious. On the other hand, this guy says, I'd even add another first-round pick because Otto Porter Jr. would be the perfect fit with our current team, and he believes we should capitalize on Dame and CJ's prime and go all in. Lanky Boy says he wouldn't do this trade because he still believes in Harkless. He's not as good as Porter is, but he does similar things, plus most contract is much smaller. Simon suggests we trade for Domantas Sabonis and give Otto Porter Jr. to Indianapolis. I don't think that's possible because the Wizards would rather have Domantas Sabonis than anything we'd have to give up, so they'd probably figure out a deal between those two without us. Another person says they don't want to give up the pick because next year's draft is going to be filled with prospects, much like this last draft. Actually, I don't think next year's draft is all that deep. I think it's pretty top-heavy where we're going to be picking. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of prospects around there, but who knows? Another person says we shouldn't trade Mo until he gets another chance healthy in the starting lineup, and with Mo playing well in our starting lineup, that's when we've proven to be our best. Another person says it'd be hard to lose Myers right now because we're too weak up front to lose him, which he has a solid point there. We don't have much big man depth, but I think that's something that we could address later if we made a trade for Otto Porter Jr. And then Lee David says he doesn't think the Wizards would accept these offers that are being thought up by Blazer fans. Myers has a poison contract, Mo is just a bench role player, and the Wizards would only get a first-round pick, essentially. So that is the pulse of Blazer fans, some of you guys. Now I'm going to go into why I think we need to make a move for him. First off, he's one of the elite 3-and-D small forwards in the NBA. While this season is a down year, the 2 years before that, he shot over 43% and over 44% from the three-point line. He also shot almost 58 and 54% from two-point land in those past 2 years respectively. He hits free throws, he's been over 80%, and it's reflected in his true shooting percentage, which has been elite the past couple of seasons at over 60%. My favorite advanced stat, box plus minus, has him at a 3.9 a couple years ago, and then last season he was at a 3.6. He's lanky, he can guard multiple positions, he gives effort, he has some lateral quickness. He's definitely a very solid player on that end. I also think he has a little bit of playmaking potential that's been untapped, kind of like Nicholas Batum when he played for Nate McMillan. I think Otto Porter Jr. has better ball skills than people realize, and he just hasn't had the role and the responsibility to create shots for himself and others. He's been used as kind of a spot-up 3-and-D guy like Batum was. He's young, and he's exactly the type of player Portland needs at the small forward position. Imagine giving Aminu's and Harkless' shots to a reliable, elite three-point shooter like Otto Porter Jr. A guy that shoots 43 to 44%, that'd be awesome, and that'd open up the offense so much, that'd make teams pay for trapping Dame and CJ on pick and rolls if you have him as a threat from the perimeter. And then I think he could run some pick and roll well with Yusuf Nurkic, kind of like Batum did with Robin Lopez during their tenures in Portland. While it would be nice to get that third star like a Jimmy Butler or a Chris Middleton or a Paul George, this is the next best thing. Talent-wise, Otto Porter would be a terrific fit with Portland and would probably take them to the next level. However, many people think that he is overpaid. He's making $26 million this year, and he expires in 2021 along with Dame and CJ, so he has a contract that's basically identical to theirs. I don't think he's quite overpaid. When you look at his box plus minus, a box plus minus around 3.5 and up reflects a star player in my opinion. He's so efficient offensively, he's able to play without the ball so well, he's a good cutter, he's able to play with the ball a little bit more than I think people realize, and then his defense combined with that. This is a guy who really has no weaknesses at all, and he's elite in 3-and-D. Given our financial situation over the next few years, and the fact that we can't really land free agents, I don't really view his contract as a problem. Having him expire at the same time Dame and CJ does gives us a lot of flexibility if things go wrong and one or both of those guys leaves. I know a lot of people still want that cap space in 2020 when the cap is supposed to go up to $160 million a year and Dame and CJ have 1 year left on their deals. Of course, Turner, Myers Leonard, and Maurice Harkless all expire that offseason, so we would have some cap space to try and make something happen. But given Portland's track record with signing free agents, I just don't think that's a plan that we can bank on. I think it'd be nice to have a player like Otto Porter Jr. that, with 1 year left on his contract in 2020, we could use in a sign and trade. If we were able to sign an elite free agent, we would likely be able to trade that expiring contract as well as a first round pick or two for that elite free agent, and that plan for 2020 would still bear fruit. But if not, we could ride out the rest of his contract as well as Dame and CJ's and then decide what to do in 2021. I like that flexibility. You would think adding a $26 million a year contract over the next 3 years would hamper flexibility, but we don't have any to begin with, and it's not like flexibility has helped us out in the past years as it's led to us signing guys like Festus Ezeli and Myers Leonard. So I proposed that trade package of Myers Leonard, Maurice Harkless, and a first round pick for Otto Porter Jr. I think something else that might be able to work is sending Maurice Harkless to Sacramento instead, who has $11 million in cap space, and they send Skal Labissière to Washington. Washington would probably value Labissière more. He's younger, he still has some untapped potential, he's a solid big man, he's probably a little bit better as a player than Maurice Harkless. He's also cheaper. In this scenario, Washington would save around $13–14 million, so they'd get under the luxury tax line, which would be another reason why I think they would possibly do this trade. And I think getting Myers Leonard, Skal Labissière, and a first back for Otto Porter Jr. is about as much as Washington could ask for. But why would Sacramento do this? Well, they have a ton of great young bigs. Willie Cauley-Stein, Marvin Bagley, Harry Giles, Nemanja Bjelica is killing it this year. They don't really have room for Skal Labissière. They've been barely playing him this year, and it doesn't seem like he has a future with the team. They've been rumored to be looking to trade him in the past. They also have a huge hole at the small forward position, which they could fill with Maurice Harkless, who would probably come in and immediately be a starter. Sacramento has actually looked good this year. They've been around a 500 ball club, which is the best they've started in probably over a decade. They also can't tank because they don't have their 2019 first round pick, and that's even if it's first overall. It has absolutely no protections on it, so they don't get it no matter what. So they're trying to win. Trading out a big man who's not playing for a small forward with veteran playoff experience, with small forward being a position that they're lacking in, I think that's a great trade for Sacramento. And they're not a team that's going to sign free agents, so that $10 million a year contract going into the 2019 offseason probably wouldn't stop them from accomplishing anything. And this is just a great way to get Otto Porter Jr. in Portland. I think this is a trade that all three teams would accept. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of that last trade. Do you think all three teams would do it? If not, who would decline? Toss out some other trade proposals for Otto Porter Jr. as well if you have them. I just think Otto Porter Jr. would be a great small forward for the Portland Trail Blazers, and he's also great as a small ball four and is the type of forward that we need. So that's all I got for now. Peace out, true Blazer fans. Go Blazers.